Hi and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. Happy 9th of June, everybody. I'm actually doing this on the 9th of June as well. So at least I can say yesterday and things and today and then be right. But the section it has chosen for today is number 23. It is very much, okay, that's not actually picked up the clear one at all. This painting is very much so like in this bottom corner. But do you know what? It's all got to be done at some point. So today is as good a day as any. And it does give us some nice little overview of some sections. So I'm using a pen today that was gifted to me by Melissa. It is one that she's created. So it's a Stabilo pen with the inside taken out. A pink pen shortened and put in. Now I have wrapped a little bit of foam around this because when this was originally given to me by Melissa, it had a plastic tip in it, and I've since changed it to a metal tip because I'm that kind of person. So the pink pen was too short for a metal tip, so I've actually put like a foam piece of glue around it and then seem to have stuck it on with goodness knows what. I forgot I'd done that, but yeah, so it's quite a nice sort of pen to hold. You've got a little rest part for your finger, you've got somewhere to grip, and then it curves. So I'm going to use this today. Where's my trashy? Let's actually empty that. Give that a little bit of a new lease of life, and let's see how much we can zoom in. But I hope you are all well. The giveaway winner from the 7th has been contacted and provided their address. It's actually shipped out to them this morning. So both giveaways so far have been contacted and have replied with address details. So they're both on their way. But it was Erin from the US that won the Diamond Art Studio UK painting. So that'll give her an opportunity, if she's not tried them already, to give them a go. But yeah, I hope everybody is doing well. Getting ready for launch this evening. So we do have a launch tonight at 9 p.m. British Summer Time, 5 hours after this video goes up. And yeah, it's probably going to be a very busy weekend. We'll see how it goes on Saturday. It's supposed to be one of the hottest days of the year so far for us on Saturday. So I think I'll probably be quite happy to tuck myself in my craft room and pack orders and get those ready for shipment as soon as possible. But comments, etc. We have loads. I am on comments from the June Waffle. At the moment they're showing at around the 2nd of June. So we'll see how many, of course, that I can get through. But in two minds, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, lovely whip and waffle. She says, with Audible, if you get a book that you have read before or you just don't like it, she says you can return it and get your credit back. Ooh. That might be good in relation to some. That might make me give a few more a go that maybe I wouldn't have done normally. I do try and listen to the samples to see if it is something that, you know, I'm at least going to be able to be happy with the narrator. But sometimes you just don't know until they start. And sometimes it does take you a chapter or two to get into a different narrator, especially if you've been listening to a series and therefore have had the same narrator for a while. It can be a bit tricky. You know, you sort of have to give it enough time to be able to determine whether, you know, you're off put by a narrator because they're different rather than because you just don't like their style. But yeah, that's very handy to know, so thank you so much for that. I didn't realise that. She says that's what makes Audible great. It does, because I enjoy it anyway, but yeah, knowing that I can do that makes it even better. Laura, she says, hi Rebecca. She says day 2 was fun. She said she continued her diamond painting, and she was watching another of my past Whip and Waffles because she wanted to finish her section. She says she's from the US, and she said you were discussing moving your stock around your craft room to make it easier to pack your products for shipment while still being able to have items near you. She said she had to chuckle because it took her a while to figure out what a rubber was. For anybody else now wondering, a rubber is an eraser to other parts of the world. We use both names, but rubber tends to be more common because it rubs things out. She says just one of those words with different meanings between countries. Yes, it's one of those that I think can, some words can cause even more confusion because they are used by another country but in a different meaning, completely different context. And as far as I'm aware, in the US, saying a rubber is completely different. So yeah, I try as much as I can to remember those words that are completely different, but sometimes what I've spoke for the last 40 plus years just comes out. She said someone mentioned the Queen and Paddington Bear. She said she was wondering where they can get these. I have seen some of them on the likes of fan sales, Queen and Paddington Bear. I'm not sure if they are, if it's artwork that is like copyright free. I'm not sure. So that is something that would need to be checked. It's not something that I have looked into because it's not something that I happen to have picked for any unboxings. Not because I don't like them, but quite often if it does have characters in it, like Paddington Bear, I tend to just not pick those in the first instance, rather than cause any problems for my channel, because I want to keep doing my videos. It is now my job. She says, see you tomorrow and thanks for all you do for us. Oh, thank you for being here, Laura. Kathy, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she's excited to join in the June Waffle. She started an Ever Moment 30 by 40 square on June the 1st. She said it's going to be lovely. She said it looks like a watercolour painting. An Ever Moment one is, it's a company that I used to buy from loads. I had quite a few paintings over the years from Ever Moment. And I've not fell out with them or anything. There's nothing bad here. Just I seem to, because there's a lot of, I want to say more premium, but at the same point, Evermoment is a premium company, but on AliExpress. I've been doing unboxings of, you know, quite a few premium companies, and my stash seems to have built up so much that it's not very often I go, well, in fact, I don't go looking for new paintings to add to my stash as much as I used to. I don't tend to go browsing shopping. It tends to be you guys that instigate any shopping. So Cosmic Trip was totally one of your guys' faults, well and truly. And I know it's been restocked, so I know a few people have been able to grab hold of one as well. I'm not sure if it's still available, but I know it was restocked. And yeah, the Dreamers designs that we picked up recently, or at least Megan picked up recently, that I still need to unbox, would you believe? That again was somebody posting the picture and saying that we'd love it, and I ended up picking one up at the same time because I wanted to try the new canvas. Apart from that, I don't tend to go shopping as such, but I do keep meaning to get one from Evermoment because I would love to look, you know, at what their poured glue is now like. Anyway, sidetrack. She says it's very colourful. She says, and she knows I would like it. She says it's called Neon Moon Tree. She said it's a very different type of painting for her. She plans to switch between 2 different paintings and maybe even finish both of them during the June Waffle. I just picked up 2 paintings with the 2 diamonds with this pen then. She says, thanks for the waffle and hugs from Georgia, USA. I will go and have a look at that one on AliExpress and see, because if it is my kind of painting, then maybe that's just one that I will order from Evermoment for a future unboxing. So that is a future unboxing because, yeah, I do like the quality of Evermoment. I do like their canvases, etc. So it would be really nice to see what it looks like. Jackie says she likes Mary Higgins Clark books too. I like the fact that the story twists and turns, and that's what I like. I've just listened to a new author, I can't remember the name of them, but they were free. It was a free trial on Audible. And I really liked the first one, but I am finding that the second one in the series seems to be it's not the same story, but it's like there's a pattern underneath there that is being sort of followed just a little bit. I don't know whether it's just me, and but yeah, I do find there's a lot of phrases and things that are repeated, and I know that authors do need to repeat certain things so that the book can be a standalone book as well as a series. But I find the likes of the J.D. Robb series, which I absolutely adore, and I'm even thinking of listening to the last few in the series again. And I always get a new book every single time it's out. I find that even though she repeats things, you know, confirming relationships and what somebody looks like and all that sort of descriptive things, even though it's repeated between books, it's different enough that it doesn't annoy the people that have listened to the whole series and already know those things. So yeah, it seems to be quite a new author, so I'm giving it a go. Pebbles, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she hopes that me and Hobby had a nice break. We did, thank you. She says she's not sure that she will be able to paint along every day, but she did just do day 1 and day 2 in one big session. She said, so it all works out one way or another. I do the same. So while there is a waffle going up each day, don't sort of beat yourself up if you're doing, you know, some days you may decide to do two sections. It might be a catch up from the day before, or it might be preparation for the next day because you know you're going to be busy, or you know you're going to be out the house all day and you're not going to have chance. Rest assured, I do that too. So the 1st and the 2nd of June waffles were done before I went away because I knew I was going away. But then last night, I just was not up for doing the waffle last night for today. So I didn't diamond paint yesterday. I'm doing it today. But then I will probably do tomorrow's shortly after. So I will be doing 2 diamond painting sections today, even though they're going up on different days. But that's just because I personally prefer to do it the day before. And then I'm not watching the time, and I'm not, because later on, once this video's been done and I've edited it, I will be, I'm not too bad on time today, but sometimes the way the day goes, by the time it's edited and it's exported from my editing software and then it's uploaded to YouTube, and if YouTube's on a go slow, there are many times that I'm like, oh, are you going to be done by 4 o'clock? So yeah, don't worry if you have days where you need to catch up or days where you want to get ahead a little bit. It's perfectly fine, and be assured that I do it too, because life is life. She says she's doing Hafsa Indeli's picture from Diamond Art Studio. She started it on the 1st of April for the Purple Showers event, and she's still only halfway through, so she's going to be working on that for June waffle. She's a plodder, she says, so she's still not sure if she will get it finished by the end of the month. She said she can't get along with multi-placing. She said, in fact, she places her squares using tweezers. So she's long since embraced the plod. She says, however, she did buy some metal tips recently from AliExpress, and it included a 2-placer. She said, so she might try that the next time she does a round painting. Give it a go. It takes a while, especially if you've been diamond painting a certain way for a length of time. It takes a while to change how you do it, for sure. And I find that, especially with multi-placing for myself, I'm finding that it's different, but I don't think it's always for me. I like having a painting where I don't multi-place as much as having a painting that I do. So at the moment, my Dreamers designs, I multi-place on that. Not all the time, but I do give some a go multi-placing. Yeah, my Diamond Art Club Mystery that I've got on the go as well, I don't multi-place on that. And I actually enjoy it not being something that I need to think about for every painting that I do. Slotter04 says, looking great, happy day too. Thank you. Lisa, she says, such a pretty canvas. She said she too also prefers to single place. She says because she has so many diamond paintings. Oh, that was it. So she said she prefers to single place, but because she has so many diamond paintings, she wants to get through each of them just a little bit faster. So she does keep trying. which is probably my main motivation for trying multi-placing and for giving it a go, is for that little bit faster to complete a canvas. And I'm not a slow diamond painter by any means, but sometimes I do feel, especially when it's busy, so like this last week has been busy. We've been finalising things for Advent. Megan's been off on half term, which means there's always loads of different extra bits going on. We've been planning launches for the next few months, all that sort of stuff we try and do when Megan's off. So, and quite often that can run into the evening. So I have had nowhere near as much diamond painting time as I may normally get, because normally I stop my work day when Megan and Will get in from work. Whereas, you know, we've been trying to make sure that we can cram everything in that we want to get done and organised and sorted within Megan's half term, so that when she is back at work, she's not getting 20 questions and bombarded from me when she gets home. So yeah, I've not had much chance to diamond paint this last week, which in turn then, you know, makes me think, oh, I could have got through this painting, or I could have got through that painting, and I could, you know, finish this exciting one and start another exciting one. I've just got so many that I want to do, that it can be hard fitting them all in. So multi-placing is a way that I'm sort of like, can I get them done just that little bit quicker for some of them, so that I can, you know, not only enjoy it, but then also move on to another one to enjoy. I'm just impatient. That's what I am. Lisa says she also multi-places vertically, but she finds it awkward to have her tray vertically, as she holds her tray while she works on a slanted easel. I too work on a slanted easel normally. I often do it for whip and chats as well. It's only this one that I'm not. But what I find is, even though I'm on a slanted easel, if I nestle the tray in my hand like this, I can get away with multi-placing. I do find it easier this way, I think, because of weight. If I hold it this way, I've got visions of everything flying down into the spout, and that will do me no good whatsoever, because I can't get them from there with my pen. Mops the Tops, she says, good morning. It is June the 4th, where she is at 1 a.m. She says, Australia calling. We'll watch you tomorrow. She says, good night, Rebecca. I hope you had a good night's sleep. And yeah, had me to watch the next day. You person in the future. That's what I always say. Australia is in the future, as far as I'm concerned. I wonder if it's a skill that the only problem is they can't help me with my day and let me know how my day's gone yet. Because while we speak to the future, they can't see my past. Katie, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, my name is Katie and she is one of my silent watchers. She says she's loving the June Waffle at the moment. She said she's passed her driving theory test on the 2nd of June. Well done. She says so now she can completely focus on her current work in progress, which is Mother Earth. That's a gorgeous painting. She says, thank you so much for your videos. Well done on passing your driving theory test. It's like one tick done, isn't it? Tick box, okay, that one's completed. Now it's just the driving test, which is just one thing to master. Rather than the theory that you never quite know what they're going to ask you. Though I think the test has, well, the UK test has like 3 questions they ask you about vehicles now, from a list of certain things that you need to know for operating your car and things. They ask 3 questions before the beginning of your test, and every of all the questions, so of all the questions that there was, of which I read through all the questions and all the, in effect, answers that you need to be able to give. And I knew there was a few that just, while I knew them, they just didn't stick in my brain the same way as some of the others. So some of the others I probably just knew from being a passenger. And then there was some that was like, oh, that's new. Oh, I got asked every single question was one of the new to me ones. Every single one. To me, it was like they just picked the hardest and said, yeah, we're going to ask her all these. So that was fun. Debbie says, hi, Rebecca. She says, thank you so much for all that you do. She says she is working on her Heaven and Earth design while listening to me. She says she's hoping to make some really good progress with the June waffle. That needs to be my focus for next week, is my Heaven and Earth design. It's not happened this week. I should have known it wouldn't happen this week. With it being a different kind of week for me, and I've not got my usual sort of daily routine to go from. So yeah, I'm trying not to beat myself up about the fact that I've not done any of my Heaven and Earth design this week. But I am looking forward to getting back to doing more next week, so that at least I have some form of update for you guys when the Heaven and Earth design whip and waffles come back. It would be nice to have made some decent progress. But yeah, June waffle is a great time to sort of focus on a section a day on your Heaven and Earth design, and whether you just do it for 1 month or whether you continue it is completely up to you, but it can give you that little boost that you might need getting it completed, because it is a slow process. It just doesn't have to be as slow as mine. Kaz, she says, afternoon, Rebecca. She said she hopes all is well. She said, and that you and hubby had a good holiday. She said her hubby, James, is watching the FA Cup final while she's diamond painting. Awesome. Quite often my hubby's watching TV while I'm diamond painting. Sometimes I put an audiobook in, sometimes I don't. I'll half listen to what he's watching. Because, you know, it half interests me. So I'm happy to have it on as sort of background noise. But then sometimes I'm like, oh, yeah, I really don't like this series. And out comes the audiobook. Helen says hello. She says it is her that's doing the cards. So I mentioned that people are doing lots of different things for the June waffle. So Helen is the one doing cards. She says, but she's still trying to get in diamond painting too. She says she's done 2 June waffles now, and obviously December's as well. She says she's going to start watching my scrapbooking videos. They are older videos. She said to get more hints and tips as well. Because she started in card making, but she would love to make a scrapbook for herself. And her CFS/ME journey. She says it will help her to see how far she has actually come in recovery when she's having a bad day. So she can see her journey. She says she has met an amazing man and got engaged in that time too. She says so it will help her to feel better. Awesome. That's a good reason to do it. Scrapbooking, I do love scrapbooking. I love the creative side of it. I just found my drive for diamond painting took over, just because it is, and I think it's a little bit more structured. It's a little bit more structured, but there is, you know, scope to do things just a little bit different to keep the challenge up as such. And yeah, I just found a love for it. And I'd love to say it takes less space. I think it does take less space than scrapbooking did for me, if you don't include the shop. If you include the shop, it's well worse. She says Helen said she used to be Santa's elf in Winfell Forest and lived on site. She said her next door neighbour was Santa himself. Ooh. She said he was 30 and would pull up a chair in her room alongside her best friend to binge watch American Horror Story. She said, such an amazing time. Ah, the things we used to get up to. She says, sorry for the long waffle. She says, but you can't have all the waffling to yourself. That's true. That is true. Yeah, I've never been Centre Parks at Christmas time. We've been a couple of times now, but it has always been sort of more May, June time. But it's been fun. It's been fun. You never know. We may do Christmas at some point, though, you know, the more kiddie side of Christmas is not as much of a thing at the moment in our household anyway. Darcy, she says, good morning from California, USA. She said it is 8:34 a.m. on Saturday the 3rd of June as she's writing this comment. She says they're going on a vacation in August. She says they are heading to the West Coast. She says she's so looking forward to seeing the ocean. It will be triple digits here, she said, at that time. And she really doesn't tolerate the heat anymore. She says she's loving the purple ribbon painting. Yeah, I've never been hugely one for the heat. I like it. I like the weather to be like summery weather. I don't need hot though. In fact, I prefer if it's not hot, because then I feel like I can't get anything done. I do love a nice breeze if it's warm though. But yeah, I can't sit in the sun. I can walk around in the sun, but I can't sit in the sun. I just get too hot. Sherry says, glad to see you and hubby back safely. She says she's loving this waffle, and she says have a fantastic day from Santander, Texas. To yourself too, Sherry. I hope you're having a really good day. A good Friday. The weekend is nearly upon us, and I have no idea where this week went. Megan did, I think it's Megan's fault. I'm blaming Megan. So Megan commented on Tuesday. She just made a comment at some point during the day saying, oh, it's only Tuesday. Like, it's not too... I was like, you're saying it's only Tuesday? We will blink and it will be Friday. And that is pretty much what it feels like, what happened. Considering we've had 5 days this week, because there's been no bank holiday. So there's been no day where, you know, the likes of hubby was home and things were completely different, albeit they've been a little bit different because Megan's home. But yeah, I think I would have to think really hard. I can't say off the top of my head what I've done each day this week, or what's been, you know, one of the primary things that we've done that's quite different each day this week. I couldn't tell you. The week has just flown by. It's been a good week though. We have got things pretty finalised for upcoming goodies. Cat Lady says she's glad to hear that we enjoyed our break. She says she worked on her Heaven and Earth design this afternoon. She says then when it came to doing a few squares while listening to the Waffle, she completed them, and then she realised that she'd worked on them in the wrong place. She said so now she's moving a whole section. Oops. Maybe the Waffle isn't the best Heaven and Earth design thing to do, maybe. Though we've all done it. I did it on my mystery painting. I think I put the whole wrong diamonds down. The wrong symbol of diamonds down for one section, and then had to move them all. I think it was about the second or the third section of the mystery I'd done in, one block, and I was like, okay, maybe it's time to stop doing the mystery painting and do something else, because it takes a different type of concentration. Mysterious Days, she says the way she gasped, she said, when I heard you nearly spoiled yourself. So that is in relation to the mystery, and the fact that I very nearly saw a section of the mystery painting that was completed and posted in the Facebook group. It was posted in the comments, so it was supposed to be hidden. However, Facebook likes to show you the odd comments on occasion, and I nearly spotted it. So she said she's so glad that I didn't spoil it for myself. She says she went through 3 major guesses before she figured out what hers was. She says she definitely needs a light pad during the rainy summer days, she says, or even just cloudy. She says the south has so many days like that. She said especially so close to Florida. She said it is also giving her less headaches, so since she's not focusing on it as much and not going as cross-eyed. Yeah, I think the reason I get away with not having the light pad on, very much, if at all, in the summer, is the fact that I am in the conservatory. So it's a glass roof, which means the light is coming directly from above rather than through a window. And I do think that's the reason I can get away with not having my light pad on most of the time. Like if I put it on, it doesn't make any difference to me until it starts getting a bit darker. And I think it is truly the fact that I'm doing it under a glass roof. She said today she finished in 24 minutes with snacks between. She says she's treated herself to a book set, which is To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. She says, and she's treated herself to a Xyron sticker maker. She says, finally. Yeah, I go through phases on how much I use my sticker maker because a lot more companies are providing stickers. But when I do need it, it is an absolute dream to have it. It really is. She says she can't wait until it arrives Tuesday, she says, and then the next budget kit she has, she can kit up with it. Yeah, it's one of those things that is a need, a want rather than a need. But once you have it, it's so nice when you're kitting up a painting that has an inventory sheet but doesn't have stickers. It's just so nice, so much easier to kit up that way. And see the symbols, just makes it nicer. Julie, she says, glad to hear that we had a lovely break. She says she's looking forward to getting her hands on the tray storage. we too are looking forward to you getting your hands on the tray storage. Maybe clear out a few of the boxes for us that are decorating various parts of the house. I've been slowly working my way through inspecting all the sort of tray storage, you know, and just checking it from shipments. That's probably what's taken up the bulk of my week, even though it's been spread out. So yeah, it's always like that when we get big shipments in, but we did decide to get a big shipment of this. We didn't want it to be, it takes a while to get in, so we didn't want it to be something that, you know, we only got a low amount in. We figured, well, if it takes a while to sell, then that's fine. But after launch, so next week, once launch has happened, we'll be able to try and find a bit more of a permanent home for ones that are staying in stock. So I kind of can't wait for that. But yes, can't wait for you to get your tray storage, and I can get a few boxes down from the multitudes that we have. Inga says 4-placer is her favourite multi-placer. Oh, just I got a diamond that decided to stick to another one and was just giving me a little bit of trouble. She said she first tried to use a 7-placer on her ever second painting, she said, which had huge sections of single background colour. She says, but she quickly realised that only 4 drills would go as she wanted them to. She says she then tried the 4-placer, and she says she's not looked at any other size for more than 2 years now. She says she fell even more in love with it after buying a metal 4-placer tip. She says sometimes she even catches herself doing single drills with the multi-placer side. Yes, 4-placer will be the next thing that I attach to a pen, that's for sure. Not on my mystery painting, because that's too complicated to see where I can multi-place compared to single place because of the symbols all being the same colour. But yeah, I think I am going to treat myself to a 4-placer and see how that goes. Right, ooh. Try not to drop my tray as I go and pop it back on the storage. So where are we at? Let's start with the letter D. Give it a little shake. I like my diamonds from this side before I turn round and do the other side. Lady Dax, she says it was an emotional watch along today. She says as her grandsons have gone home. Oh, you get to relax, but at the same point you miss them. She says the eldest cried as he wanted to stay with Nanny and Auntie P. Jelly. Oh, bless him. She said she did have a little bonus though. She says as her son came to pick them up, rather than Auntie taking them on the train. She says though we talk on the phone, she says she hasn't actually seen her son since 2021. She said so a very mixed emotions day. She says both boys are on the spectrum. She said so we are extremely tired. She says but they have been amazing, she said, and we will miss them. Oh, she says the house is very quiet. I can imagine the house feels really, really quiet. She says, but she has caught up on day 3. Well, hopefully I can help keep you a little bit busy. But I'm so happy that the visit went well and that you got to see your son in person. Because as much as FaceTime is amazing, FaceTime really is amazing. It keeps me connected with my family often, but it is just a different level when you are sort of in the same place. It surely is. Laurie, she says, welcome home, Rebecca. She says she always feels the best part of a vacation is getting to sleep in her own bed again. So true. I slept so well the first night we were back. Hasn't stayed on all week, but I definitely slept well that first night. She says, weird, she knows, she says, but that's me. That's not weird at all. Very much like our own bed. We actually took our own pillows with us, because we do find both myself and my hubby can struggle to sleep somewhere different, or feel like it takes us a long time to get to sleep when we're somewhere different. So we did both take our own pillows because we were going in the car. It was something we could do, and that helped greatly. But I know their mattress was definitely softer than ours because I felt it on my back. Whereas when we got home to our harder mattress, it was like, oh yes, actual bliss. And I didn't wake up with a backache just from sleeping on a different type of mattress. She says she's been watching all of the older videos. Oh, this is where things come back to haunt me, I can imagine, Laurie. She says, and in one of them, I mentioned when you first started to accumulate the printers, that hubby had a project that he wanted to do. She says, big question of the day. Did he ever get to do that project? No, I don't think so. I actually can't even remember what project it was now. I don't know if he can even remember what project it is now. His excitement and his fascination with 3D printers, it goes through phases. So it does wane off a little bit. I think it did wane off a little bit at the beginning while we, got the printers fine-tuned to what we were printing and learn all the new things about how to adjust this and that and what needs fixing for this, that and the other. And then it sort of, was like, oh, okay, the printers are behaving. Printers are printing really good, we've got a bit better with it. And it was like, okay, and he just went off his project. Then we got excited because there was a printer launch that would print a lot quicker. It doesn't work with every filament that we get, but he had the excitement again with that, and he did print a couple of things. Whether one of them was something he wanted for a project, I can't remember what that original project was, but he did get to print some things. But now, yeah, it's back to sort of just the printers do their thing and we do our thing. But it may come back. It may come back. But he's got more opportunity to print things that he wants to print now. Because we have one printer that prints faster, and we've managed to say it doesn't do well with a couple of filaments, but it does well with most of them. It does well with all the ones that we use for our basic colours. So it's pretty good in that sense that we can keep things topped up, stocked up. At the moment it's printing loads of purple, ready for purple to launch next month. But yeah, he does have the opportunity now. I just don't know if he can even remember what he wanted to print. Laurie also says, she says there are so many things, I'm just forgetting which symbol I'm doing. She said there are so many things about British schools that confuse me. She says, but Megan not having the entire summer off, she says, not only confused me, but also made me sad for Megan. She says, as she knows, teachers in the US have the entire summer off. She said, so sad. I don't know if I've confused matters in relation to that. Megan does have the summer off. She has, so from school, from work at school, they do have summer off. They break up, I think, near the end of July, end-ish of July. And she is off for the whole of August, and they go back in September. It's normally about 6 weeks, but she is off from school for the summer. What may have confused things is that Megan's role with the business and the shop, because of course we sort of both started the shop side of things together. And Megan's put, you know, done a lot of things for the shop in the background. Even though I do the day-to-day, Megan is still involved in quite a few certain aspects. So what may have caused confusion is that Megan works on the shop in the summer. So she works in the shop mainly the summer and launch weekends. And I try and do, because I'm now able to do it full time, I try and do pretty much everything else through the week, so that she just has the one job and then can switch off, rather than coming home and both of us, oh, see, look, I've done it again. Both of us are working on the shop after our respective jobs. But yeah, so she gets, in effect, you know, paid from the shop each month, but only primarily works launch weekend and then on her holidays from school. And that's not like full days, but it's a few more days of focus. So it may well be the fact that come summer holidays, she will be working the shop, because we will be packing advent boxes, hopefully. That will depend on when stock comes in, but hopefully. So yeah, she does have the summer off from school. British schools do break up for the summer. Right, I don't have many of this colour in here. Why do I not? 552. Maybe I just didn't tip as many in as I did with the other colours. So let's just throw a few more in there. Then again, maybe I don't have as many sections for it either now, because it is, we've done quite a few sections that have a bit of the blocky ribbon colour, and this colour doesn't appear in the splatters as much. It does a bit, but not hugely. Laurie, she says, non-DP questions, diamond painting questions. She says she loves watching Time Team videos as digging around for ancient artifacts. She says absolutely fascinates her. She said the one she watched this afternoon shows people in a small coastal village allowing the Time Team to dig up their front garden and finding bones to boot. She said, you have a garden. I do. She says, and she's wondering if you ever find anything interesting while working in the garden, or was the land evaluated before houses were built? We don't tend to find anything in our garden. Nothing of that more historic anyway. I think most things tend to be found more south and in, I don't know, I suppose more rural properties. Ours isn't so much rural. We're in a town on a housing estate. It's not as popular. Or I've definitely not heard of it around us anyway. And yeah, they're not necessarily assessed. Land isn't assessed before houses are built for you know, artifact type things. Most places that need to be protected would have a sort of a protection from being built over already. But yeah, no, that's not something that we tend to get here. She says back when she was a kid, she said she used to find arrowheads in our part of Indiana. She says, but never anything like pottery. She says she loved the arrowheads, but a bit of pottery or an old bottle would have thrilled her. Yeah, you won't find that in my garden. Sorry. You'll just find mud and clay. I think we have clay sort of, if you dig down far enough in our garden, you get to clay. I think we are built over some old mines, but I don't think that's sort of old enough to get the sort of artifacts that the Time team find. She says, and lastly, she says she is very happy for the hour plus videos, as she was afraid that the videos would be short with your newfangled tray storage. I love the wording, newfangled tray storage. She says, phew, she says she can sleep at night again without it hanging over her head. I think it's because I'm doing a painting that is double the size that I normally do. Otherwise, it would have been quicker. It would have been a lot shorter whip and waffles if I was doing a 30 by 40 than I normally do. So at least I now sort of know what my scope is and how long things will take according to the size and my setup. I do like this setup. I very much like this for whip and waffles, and I may do this for December as well, which may be ones that are a little shorter, because the painting isn't quite as big as this one, though it's still a fair size. So yeah, we shall see what December brings. But 45 minutes is a nice whip and waffle time for me. I prefer it to be over half an hour. Between half an hour and 45 minutes is an ideal time for a whip and waffle for me. An hour one, it's been tougher to do an hour one throughout the whole of June. And I still love it, but the logistics of keeping it up and stuff is definitely harder for me. Oh, there's another set of things that I missed. And this is why I love it, because I love this tray storage way of doing it, because especially when I'm waffling, and because this is like a splatterworks painting, so there is bits of the colour in lots of different places. The fact that I miss some is nowhere near as big a deal as it is when I have to tip the colour back out. So I do love this way of working on a painting, and I think I'm definitely going to do it for some more. Yeah, maybe December waffle. I need to check how many colours it is actually. I might need two. I might need 2 storage tray setups for that one, so that could be a little bit different. Right, did I get all the 7s? I think I did. Let's move on to H and see how we go. Laurie also says, she forgot about Woolworths. She says back in the 50s, she says it was a mainstay in her hometown. And you could buy just about anything in there. She says her favourite memory, she said, is one year her dad gave her some money and asked her to pick up a gift for Mum for Christmas. She said, and she could pick the gift out. She said it was a hard decision. She said between the iron, we were hard on iron, she says, with all the ironing that we did, and a bottle of the most fabulous perfume, she says, in a young girl's mind. Evening in Paris, she said she chose the perfume and she still smiles whenever she thinks back to that wonderful store. She says, thanks for the memories. Oh, I'm glad I could help some memories come to the forefront. It's always nice when things like that sort of pop back into our heads from discussions that are not necessarily forgotten, but are not forefront of our mind either. So, yeah. I'm glad you picked the perfume, though. I was reading that thinking, please tell me you picked the perfume. Anna said they had a couple of Woolworths in her area in Massachusetts. I can never say that. Massachusetts. It doesn't have a T at the beginning. Massachusetts. Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean. She says, when I was younger, she said one had a lunch counter, she said, but she didn't think that the other one did. She said they were called 5 and 10 stores. She says, glad you had a nice time away with hubby. So, Woolworths is worldwide known. Who knew that a topic about Woolworths that we used to have in the UK would resonate with so many more countries? Susan, she says she's so glad that I had a nice time away from my usual routine. She says it's always good for the soul. She said she was able to finish her 3rd section. She said she is enjoying diamond painting. This is her 4th one to do. She says she's had cataract surgery within the last 6 weeks. She says 5 weeks since her first eye and 2 weeks since the second one. She says she decided to go with what the doctor calls monovision, which is using a lens for close vision in her left eye and a lens for distance vision in her right eye. She says she's still not sure that her brain has figured out which eye to use when. She says, but she's hoping for the best. Well, the body is amazing at adapting to things. It just takes time, especially if it's something that for X number of years you've been doing a different way. But the body can be so good with coping with different things. I'm sure over time your body will do what you want it to do. And if not, just laugh at the moments in between and remember them for later. Good story time for later when things are normal again. She says she usually does a lot of cross stitch on high counts of linen. So a 36 count and a 34 count. She says, but she can't quite see well enough yet to do that stitching. So she's glad that she has diamond painting that is so much easier to see. She says, thanks for keeping me company today. All the best from Utah, USA. Thank you for joining us for the Whip and Waffle. And yeah, diamond painting gives you a different creative outlet that is similar, but at least it's something that can keep you going until you can pick up the stitching as well. And then you'll be able to do a bit of both. SW says, how did you like the tack instead of the glue dot? The putty that I was using, I find it is really good. It is really good putty. It's definitely above wax, definitely. I find in the multi-placer it's great. In the single placer, a lot of it depends on how warm it is. So a glue dot doesn't seem to be affected by heat as much. We'll see. If we get any 30-degree days, it will be a sure test. But yeah, the glue dot doesn't seem to get affected by heat as much as the putty can do. But having said that, I've only used it in the single placer for a short period of time. So maybe it just needed to settle down a little bit to work a lot better. So I don't know if I've given it a fair chance. It's definitely better than wax, but I do still like glue dots in my single placer. But I've been using putty in the multi-placer until the glue dot strips come in, which we do have on our site. They are just not due until Monday, but a couple of people want to be able to get them in the launch and just wait for shipment. So we have glue dot strips coming in next week. The supplier for those is rather slow on shipping once an order's placed, so they're due in next week. I think I've got a little bit of, I don't know if it's paper or if it's just a little strip of washi tape. Just was stopping my diamond from sticking. There we go. That's better. So yeah, I wouldn't mind trying those as well and see how it all pans out. But that is the section for today done, and today is a giveaway day. So for today's giveaway, I'm going to give away a Kaiser sparkle painting. I bought a few of these while I was in Australia, but I am going to give away one for somebody else to be able to give it a go. I'm basically trying to pick diamond paintings from different manufacturers. Some I've bought myself, some I've been gifted for an unboxing. It's a little bit of a variety of both. But I thought Rainbow Parrot and all his beautiful colours would be a good one. It has got some solid colour on the background, but it has got diamonds in with it to break up that blockiness. It is in a round, but yeah, so I am giving away a Kaiser sparkle painting for today. So to enter, you need to go to our website addmorezest.com. It is linked in the description and it is written down here in this bottom corner. You need to go to the tab called giveaway. So on a website, it is across the top. It's to the far right on the website. If you're on a mobile, click on the 3 lines and then scroll down to giveaway. Click on that and it will ask you to enter a password. So the password for today is Kaiser. It's all lowercase. Let's not mess with keyboards. So Kaiser. If you type in Kaiser, which I'm just popping in, gives me a chance to make sure it works, then you will be able to access the giveaway page. That currently confirms 1 entry per person, and that we're only using your data for the giveaway. And there is a click here to enter button where you can pop in your name, your email and your YouTube name. All I ask is that you are subscribed to my channel, which is completely free to do. So do hit that subscribe button. If you want to be notified when I've got videos, hit that bell button to be notified as well. And I do always appreciate a like on a video. But yeah, the only thing I asked is that you're subscribed. Apart from that, pop your details in there and the giveaway will close in 24 hours. So if tomorrow's video for the 10th is up on my YouTube channel, the giveaway is closed. And we will contact the winner via email to ask them for their address details once it's finished. But yeah, that is another section for today. Because we've ended up with this such big block down here, I want to see where we're going next. Oh my goodness me. I've just seen tomorrow's number. I'll see you around the right hand side of the painting tomorrow for another whip and waffle. Hopefully you guys will be able to join me. I've got loads of comments and questions to be able to chat to you about. But thank you all so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon.